Hey gang, and welcome to another Animal Crossing video. I'm Crossing Channel, and September is nearly here, which means there are some exciting updates and changes throughout the month. This includes some new items to get your hands on, seasonal changes, new crafting materials and recipes, events to enjoy, and a lot more. So I've decided to take a look at all the updates and changes that you should know about for the Northern and Southern Hemispheres in the month of September. This is going to be a lot of fun, and there's definitely a lot to go over, so let's jump straight into this. Number 1. Scenery changes. So of course, throughout the month of September, we're going to see some pretty cool scenery changes that'll happen to our islands. For those of us in the Northern Hemisphere, it's finally becoming autumn or fall, whatever you want to call it, and that's incredibly exciting for me. It's definitely one of my favorite seasons in the game, and you'll notice that the grass has already kind of subtly changed to be this lighter green as opposed to August's more dark green. However, it will continue to change even more throughout the month, where it'll sort of become a more faded green color before it turns into the orange color that we know and associate with autumn in Animal Crossing. So this is definitely a cool change, and I love to see it. I love how subtle it is in Animal Crossing New Horizons. I think they did a really good job of transitioning between the different seasons. It doesn't feel too abrupt, it's kind of a slow change, which I know not everyone might enjoy, especially if you're waiting for the dark orange. But you're gonna have to wait just a little bit longer to see that dark orange grass that we all know and love. If you happen to be in the Southern Hemisphere, then that means spring has already happened for you, and the grass should still be kind of faded and moldy looking, but don't worry, because by the end of the month, the grass should be properly green again, which is incredibly exciting. So two very cool seasons are kind of coming in for Northern and Southern Hemisphere players, which is definitely exciting, and I'm looking forward to all of these different changes and seeing what people do with their islands in the spring and autumn seasons in the game. Of course, there are some other more subtle changes which happen as well, for example with Nook's Cranny. As you can see in the Northern Hemisphere, Nook's Cranny will finally get a very nice full look and some pumpkins outside, which are of course readying us for the month of October, where we're going to see very many pumpkins around the island. Of course, you'll also see this happen for the spring season as well. And the weeds should be changing around your island as well, maybe having some different looks for them throughout the month, so keep an eye out for those more subtle changes as well. Number 2. Autumn crafting materials and items. There are some really cool items which you can get your hands on in the month of September if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, of course related to the start of autumn. Now you'll be able to get some new crafting materials which you might not already have, especially if you've only just played Animal Crossing New Horizons for the first time this year, which are the acorns and the pine cones, and I really love these. They look super cute, they're just great. You can decorate with them if you want to, but of course you can also use them to craft a bunch of different items that you'll be able to collect throughout the months of September and kind of going on towards into fall. So these are really nice, and you can get one of them from Isabelle, but the rest you're going to have to get from DIY recipes in balloons. Now, I know how annoying this is, and believe me, I don't like doing it myself. I feel like this is probably one of the trickiest ways to get DIY recipes in the game, and personally, I don't even have all of the recipes yet for this little event. It's such a shame because I've tried to knock down as many balloons as I can, and I'm still missing some, despite the fact I've gone through so many balloons. So you'll have to keep trying and keep your eyes out. I know there's some good tricks online for getting balloons, so maybe it's worth looking at those if you want to get all of these different recipes, because to be honest with you, they are really cool. I really do like some of these recipes. I wouldn't say they're the best autumn or fall recipes that we get. There are some really amazing ones actually coming up in the next few months, but these ones are definitely worth getting your hands on, especially before they do disappear. So make sure you head out there and get as many of them as you can. Of course, you could also trade them with your Southern Hemisphere friends if they don't happen to have any of these. Number 3. Spring crafting materials and seasonal items. So for those of you in the Southern Hemisphere, don't worry, you're not missing out. There is a new seasonal crafting material for you to get your hands on as well, which is the young spring bamboo, which of course you can exclusively get from bamboo trees. And there's a lot of cool items to get your hands on as well that are of course all bamboo themed. They're really, really nice, and once again, you are gonna have to get these, sadly, from DIY recipes hidden in balloons. So once again, it's going to be a bit of a grind to get all of these if you don't have many. Maybe this is your first year playing the game like I mentioned. So it could be a good idea to maybe just go out there and trade with players, but of course you could also hunt for them yourself if you enjoy doing that kind of thing. Either way, I'd recommend getting all of these items crafted because there's so many good ones, and once they're gone, you're gonna have to wait an entire year obviously to get them again unless you do decide to trade with someone. So it's worth going out there and hitting the trees and getting as much young spring bamboo as you can before it's all gone. Number 4, events. Now, I will say that sadly September is not the best month for events in Animal Crossing New Horizons. We thought that only the Fireworks Festival was not much. Well, sadly in September there's only one event, and it's for Northern Hemisphere players only. And this is the Bug Off, which happens on the 25th of September. This is the last Bug Off of the year, however, so if you don't have the items yet, if you started playing recently, you'll definitely want to do this one before you have to wait until next year to enjoy more of them. Like I've mentioned in previous videos where the Bug Off has happened, there are some really cool items to get from this, so if you don't have all of them, I would recommend playing through it. They're definitely worth getting in my opinion. But yeah, sadly this is the only event that is happening throughout the month. Don't worry though, because obviously October has a lot more in terms of events because it has a major in-game event, so you won't be waiting too long until you can enjoy more events in the game, and then it's basically crazy from October all the way until January, so there will be lots going on in the upcoming months. Number 5, Nook shopping items. So of course I did already make a video about this, going over all of the new limited time items which you can get from the Nook shopping menu or app in September, but I thought I'd just quickly mention that there are some brand new and returning seasonal items which you'll definitely want to get throughout this month. A lot of them honestly focus on food, which is really great. I always love seeing more food items introduced in Animal Crossing New Horizons, as we really didn't have many when the game came out. So if you're interested in that, you'll probably like a lot of these. In total, there are about 5 to get your hands on, and then 4 of them happen to be brand new. So if you want to get those, I recommend getting them as soon as you possibly can, because of course they are limited time and they'll only appear throughout the month of September. If you want to get them again, you will have to wait an entire year to get them, so it's definitely worth getting your hands on them before they disappear, as they are limited time. Number 6, bush changes. So we all love bushes in Animal Crossing New Horizons. They're definitely one of my favorite items in the entire game, just because of how many of them you can put around your island to make it look really pretty. And there are some bush changes throughout the month that you'll probably want to know about. So, for those of you in the Northern Hemisphere, hibiscus bushes will officially stop blooming on September the 20th. So if you want to plant those and enjoy them before the month is up, you do still have a good amount of time to do so, but it's worth keeping in mind that they will eventually be gone, and then you won't be able to see them bloom for quite a long while. You're gonna have to wait until next summer. But don't worry, Northern Hemisphere players, you can enjoy the tea olive bushes blooming from September 21st to October the 30th, so you have a lot of time to enjoy a new pretty bush blooming around your island. I have a lot of these blooming and they look really great, so it's definitely worth getting them. And also, for those of you in the Southern Hemisphere, sadly you don't have any new bushes blooming this month. However, camellia bushes will be blooming until the end of September, specifically September 30th. So you can continue to see them blooming throughout the month, but by the time September is over, they will be gone, so keep that in mind. Number 7, new bugs, fish, and sea creatures. Of course, with every month in Animal Crossing New Horizons, new bugs, fish, and sea creatures will arrive on your islands for you to catch. So if you need to complete your Critterpedia or maybe your museum, then it's definitely worth going out there and readying your tools so you can get some of these. For those of you in the Northern Hemisphere, you can expect the common butterfly, the yellow butterfly, the monarch butterfly, the cricket, the bell cricket, red dragonfly, violin beetle, pillbug, centipede, all to arrive throughout the month. For those of you in the Southern Hemisphere, you can expect the yellow butterfly, tiger butterfly, peacock butterfly, mantis, orchid mantis, honeybee, stink bug, man-faced stink bug, ladybug, tiger beetle, all to arrive. In terms of fish, the Northern Hemisphere can expect the pike, cherry salmon, char, golden trout, salmon, king salmon, mitten crab, and sturgeon. And for those of you in the Southern Hemisphere, you can expect the tadpole, loach, cherry salmon, char, golden trout, Barred Knifejaw. Now, in terms of sea creatures, for the Northern Hemisphere, you can expect the Oyster, Turban Shell, Chambered Nautilus, Umbrella Octopus, and the Sweet Shrimp. And for those of you in the Southern Hemisphere, you can expect the Turban Shell, Spider Crab, Chambered Nautilus, and the Umbrella Octopus. So that is a lot of new bugs, fish, and sea creatures to get your hands on throughout the month. As always, I definitely recommend checking out Nookopedia, as they'll give you the exact times and locations where you can get all of these different critters, so that's highly recommended from me. That's what I use every single time. So those were the updates and changes happening throughout the month of September in Animal Crossing New Horizons. There's definitely a lot of cool stuff going on and a lot of new items to get your hands on. If you only started playing the game this year, there is honestly so much to enjoy here, but even for those of you who have already played last September, I definitely think there are some other changes and new items that you'll probably enjoy. So I hope you'll go out there and enjoy September throughout your islands. Let me know in the comment section down below what you're most excited for and what you're planning on doing in September in the game. And do you think we potentially could see some kind of update to the game itself in the month of September? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. I'd love to hear back. And if you made it to the end of the video, be sure to comment Bob's Gang down below so I know that you did. If you want to help support me and my channel, click the join button down below the video or the link in the description to become a channel member and a member of the Bob's Gang. You can get a whole bunch of really cool perks for doing so, such as exclusive emojis, a badge by your name, exclusive content and posts, and so much more, so be sure to check that out. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to leave a like, show support, and if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and turn on channel notifications for more Animal Crossing videos.